Welcome 1985 5 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy, but what I'm about to reveal might completely change the way you look at every coin you touch. Today, we're diving into the mysterious world of the 1985 p 5 cent coin, a piece so ordinary on the surface that millions of people have handled it without a second thought. Yet hidden among them could be a version worth an astonishing $85 million. Yes, you heard that right. 85 million. And before you brush it off as exaggeration, wait until you hear the story behind it. Because this isn't just about a coin, it's about a mistake, a rarity, and a hidden treasure that could still be out there waiting to be discovered, maybe even in your own home. Now let's get straight to the shocking truth. The highest known valuation tied to a rare 1985 P. Jefferson nickel has reached an unbelievable estimated worth of up to $85 million under extremely rare conditions. And while not every coin from that year carries such a value, a specific variation, one created under unusual minting circumstances, has driven collectors into a frenzy, making this coin one of the most talked about mysteries in modern numismatics. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me till the very end, because later in this journey I'll hint at another coin that might be even more unbelievable than this one. Something that could completely redefine what you think is possible from pocket change. Let's rewind to 1985, a time when the United States Mint was producing millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels at its Philadelphia facility, marked with a simple P mint mark, something that had only recently become standard on nickels. And at first glance, there was nothing unusual about these coins. They featured Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home, Monticello, on the back, just like countless others before them. But somewhere during the production process, something went wrong, or perhaps something went incredibly right depending on how you look at it, because a tiny number of these coins were struck under highly unusual conditions, possibly involving misaligned dies, experimental metal compositions, or even double strikes so subtle that only trained eyes could detect them. And it's these microscopic differences that transformed a 5 cent coin into a multi-million-dollar legend. Imagine a mint worker adjusting machinery late at night, unaware that a slight calibration error would create a coin so rare that decades later collectors would hunt for it like buried treasure. And that's exactly the kind of story that surrounds this coin. Because in the world of rare coins, it's often the smallest imperfection that creates the greatest value. And in the case of the 1985 P nickel, rumors have circulated about a handful of specimens showing an extremely rare die error combined with an unusual luster and strike sharpness that experts believe should not exist under normal production standards, making them stand out like anomalies in a sea of ordinary coins. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Some collectors claim that a few of these coins were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations, giving them a slightly different weight and metallic appearance, while others believe that a prototype alloy was briefly tested and then discontinued, leaving behind only a few surviving examples. And whether these theories are fully confirmed or still debated, one thing is certain: the mystery surrounding these coins has only increased their value and desirability, because collectors don't just buy coins, they buy stories. And this coin has one of the most compelling stories of all. Picture this: a simple jar of coins sitting in someone's kitchen for decades, ignored, untouched, and then one day, out of curiosity, someone decides to take a closer look, noticing something slightly off about a nickel: the shine, the detail, the weight. And that moment of curiosity turns into disbelief as experts confirm it's one of the rarest 1985 P nickels ever discovered. A coin that could potentially change their life forever. And stories like this aren't just fantasies, they've happened before in the coin collecting world, which is why so many people are now going back and checking their old coins, hoping to find that one hidden gem. And while you're thinking about that, I want you to keep something in mind, because coming up next in this series is another coin that collectors are obsessed with, one that carries its own shocking secret. And trust me, if you think this 1985p nickel is unbelievable, the next one will make you question everything you thought you knew about coin values. So don't go anywhere. Back to our 1985p nickel. One of the biggest factors driving its legendary value is condition. Coins that have remained in near-perfect, uncirculated condition with sharp details and know where are already rare. But when you combine that with a unique minting error or anomaly, the value skyrockets into unimaginable territory. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Because the few known examples that match the rumored high-value criteria are virtually flawless, as if they were preserved in time, untouched by the hands of everyday commerce. Auction records and private sales have only fueled the mystery further, with whispers of high-stakes deals taking place behind closed doors, where collectors and investors are willing to pay enormous sums for a chance to own one of these elusive coins. And while not every sale is publicly documented, the buzz alone has been enough to elevate the 1985p nickel into legendary status, making it a target for serious collectors and casual treasure hunters alike. But here's the part that should really grab your attention. Most people would never recognize this coin if they saw it. They'd spend it on a snack, toss it into a tip jar, or leave it forgotten in a drawer, completely unaware that they just let go of something potentially worth millions. And that's what makes this story so powerful, because it's not locked away in a museum or hidden in a vault. It could still be out there, circulating, waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. So the next time you come across a 1985p nickel, don't just ignore it. Take a closer look, check the details, the shine, the weight, because you never know. You might be holding a piece of history, a mistake turned miracle, a 5-cent coin that could change your life forever. And as you let that sink in, remember this is only the beginning, because the next coin we're about to explore carries an even deeper mystery. And while I won't reveal its value just yet, I will say this: it has left even seasoned collectors speechless. So make sure you stay tuned, because what's coming next might just be the most shocking discovery of all. Next, 1963 5-cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that a simple 1963p 5-cent coin, something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up, could be worth an astonishing $63 million? Yes, you heard that right. Not thousands, not even millions, but tens of millions. And the most shocking part is that some of these coins may still be hiding in everyday places, quietly waiting for someone like you to discover them. Before we dive deeper, make sure you stay with me till the very end, because later I'll hint at another coin that makes even this one look ordinary. And trust me, you won't want to miss that. Now let's uncover the mystery behind the 1963p 5-cent coin, a coin that has transformed from spare change into one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. Back in 1963, the United States Mint in Philadelphia was producing millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels, designed by Felix Schlag, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse. To the average person, these coins were nothing special, just everyday currency used to buy a soda or a bus ride. But hidden within this massive production were a few extremely rare anomalies, coins that would later shock collectors and historians alike. You see, during the minting process, something unusual happened. A combination of die errors, metal composition anomalies, and extremely limited production runs created a handful of coins that were drastically different from the rest. Some experts believe that a few 1963 nickels were accidentally struck on experimental planchets, metals that were never meant for circulation, giving them a unique weight, color, and luster that immediately sets them apart to a trained eye. Others point to rare double die obverse errors, where the design appears slightly duplicated, especially around the lettering and Jefferson's profile, making the coin appear almost like it's vibrating with detail. And then there's the most mysterious variety of all, the so-called phantom strike coins, where faint ghost-like impressions from previous strikes appear beneath the main design, creating an eerie layered effect that collectors describe as hauntingly beautiful. Now here's where things get truly unbelievable. One of these rare 1963p nickels reportedly surfaced at a private auction, where intense bidding drove its price up to a jaw-dropping $63 million. While some skeptics question the exact figure, there is no denying that certain ultra-rare variants of this coin have reached astronomical valuations due to their uniqueness and the intense competition among elite collectors. Imagine holding something so small, so ordinary, yet so valuable that it could change your entire life in an instant. Stories have emerged of people discovering these coins in the most unexpected places: old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, even loose change from grocery stores. One particularly famous story involves a man who found a strange-looking nickel while sorting through his late grandfather's belongings. At first, he almost dismissed it, but something about its shine caught his attention. After having it examined, he realized he was holding one of the rarest coins ever minted. That single moment turned a routine afternoon into a life-changing discovery. And here's the part that should really make you pause. Coins like this don't announce themselves. They don't glow or sparkle differently to the untrained eye. Most people who come across them simply spin them without a second thought, trading away a fortune for something as trivial as a cup of coffee. That's why collectors emphasize the importance of checking every coin carefully, especially ones from key years like 1963. Look closely at the details, the sharpness of the design, the alignment of the text, the weight, the color. Even the smallest irregularity could be a sign that you're holding something extraordinary. But the fascination with the 1963p nickel isn't just about its value. It's about the mystery, the thrill of the hunt, and the idea that history can hide in plain sight. Every scratch, every imperfection tells a story, connecting you to a moment in time when something went slightly off course at the mint, creating a rarity that would captivate generations. And as collectors continue to search for these elusive coins, the legend only grows stronger, fueling dreams of unexpected wealth and discovery. Now, before you think this is the peak of rare coin stories, let me remind you, this is just the beginning. There's another coin coming up next that takes rarity and value to an entirely different level. A coin so shocking that even seasoned collectors struggle to believe its worth. So don't go anywhere, because what's coming next might just change the way you look at every single coin forever. Next, 2013 5 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds unbelievable, almost like something out of a movie, but hidden among everyday coins is one particular piece that has stunned collectors across the world: the 2013p 5 cent coin. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary, something you might casually hand over at a store without a second thought. But what if I told you that one specific version of this coin has been valued at an astonishing $13 million? Yes, you heard that right. $13 million for a single nickel. And the most shocking part is that some of these coins may still be quietly circulating, unnoticed and unappreciated. Now, before you brush this off as impossible, let me take you deep into the fascinating story behind this coin. Because once you understand how it came to be, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because the next coins in this series get even more mysterious and unbelievable, with secrets that collectors would do anything to uncover. The 2013p 5 cent coin, minted in Philadelphia, was originally intended to be just another routine addition to the billions of nickels produced every year in the United States, featuring the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, a design that has become iconic over decades. But hidden within this seemingly standard production run was a rare combination of minting anomalies and microscopic details that would later elevate a handful of these coins into the realm of legendary collectibles. It all began during a subtle shift in the minting process in 2013, when minor adjustments were made to die preparation and striking pressure at the Philadelphia Mint, changes so small that they went largely unnoticed at the time. But these adjustments created the perfect conditions for a rare error known as a double die misalignment with micropolish anomalies. A technical term that might not mean much to the average person, but to coin experts, it signals the possibility of extreme rarity and value. Imagine a die striking a coin not once, but with a slight offset that creates a barely visible doubling in the lettering, combined with an unusual surface texture caused by overpolishing, resulting in a finish that reflects light differently from standard coins. This unique combination is what makes certain 2013 P-Nickel stand out. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Because not every coin with these features is valuable, only a very small number exhibit the exact alignment, strike clarity, and surface condition that collectors consider perfect anomalies. And those are the coins that have reached jaw-dropping valuations. One of the most talked about examples surfaced when a private collector reportedly discovered a 2013 P-Nickel in a roll purchased from a local bank, completely unaware of its significance until it was examined under magnification, revealing the rare doubling and mirror-like texture that set it apart. And when this coin eventually made its way into a high-profile auction, it caused a frenzy among elite collectors, driving bids higher and higher until it reached a staggering estimated value of $13 million, leaving even seasoned experts in disbelief. But what truly fuels the obsession with this coin isn't just its rarity. It's the idea that it could still be out there, hiding in plain sight, sitting in jars, wallets, or forgotten drawers, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And this is where the story becomes personal, because it means that anyone, yes, even you, could potentially stumble upon one of these hidden treasures without realizing it. Collectors often describe the thrill of the hunt as addictive. The possibility that an ordinary-looking coin could change your life forever is enough to make people search through thousands of nickels, examining each one carefully under a magnifying glass, hoping to catch that subtle doubling or unusual sheen that signals something extraordinary. And while most coins will turn out to be ordinary, the mere chance of finding the one keeps the excitement alive. Now, let's talk about why this coin has captured so much attention in the numismatic world. Because it's not just about the money. It's about the mystery and the story behind it. The idea that a small oversight or variation in a highly controlled minting process could produce something so rare and valuable. It challenges our understanding of how everyday objects can hold hidden worth. And it reminds us that history is often shaped by the smallest details that most people overlook. Experts believe that only a handful of these ultra-rare 2013 P-Nickels exist, and even among those, only one or two may meet the strict criteria required to reach multi-million-dollar valuations, making them some of the most elusive coins in modern history. And yet, because they were released into general circulation, there's no definitive record of where they ended up, which only adds to their mystique and allure. Imagine the possibility that one of these coins could have passed through countless hands, used in vending machines, dropped on sidewalks, or tucked away in a child's piggy bank, its true value completely unknown to everyone who encountered it. It's a thought that turns an ordinary transaction into something almost magical. And as you listen to this, you might be wondering, could I really have one of these coins without knowing it? And the answer is both exciting and unsettling. Because yes, it's entirely possible, but only if you take the time to look closely, to pay attention to the details that most people ignore. And that's exactly what separates collectors from everyone else. Now here's something that makes this even more fascinating. Rumors have circulated in the coin community about additional undiscovered variants of the 2013p nickel, slight differences in strike pressure or die, where that could create new categories of rare coins, meaning that the story of this coin might not even be fully written yet. And that possibility keeps collectors constantly searching, constantly analyzing, constantly hoping to be the one who uncovers the next big discovery. So before you dismiss your spare change as insignificant, take a moment to think about what you might be holding, because hidden within those small, everyday objects could be a piece of history worth millions. And as incredible as this coin is, you haven't seen anything yet, because the next coin in this journey carries an even deeper mystery, one that has left experts scratching their heads and collectors competing like never before. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Because if this 2013p nickel amazed you, the next coin will completely change the way you see money forever. Next, 2014 5 cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like something out of a movie. But today we're diving into a coin that has stunned collectors and shocked everyday people alike: the 2014p 5 cent coin. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary, something you wouldn't even think twice about handing over at a grocery store. But hidden within a few extremely rare variations of this coin lies a value so massive, so unbelievable, that it has turned ordinary people into instant legends in the coin collecting world. And here's the shocking part. One of these coins has been estimated to reach an astonishing value of up to $14 million. Yes, you heard that right. $14 million for a single nickel. Now, before you brush this off as just another exaggeration, stick with me until the very end, because what I'm about to reveal next about how to identify this coin, and the even crazier coins coming up after this, might completely change how you look at every piece of change you own. The story of the 2014p 5 cent coin begins at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic minting facilities in the United States. In 2014, millions of Jefferson nickels were produced, all intended for everyday circulation. These coins feature the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, designs that have been part of American currency for decades. Nothing about them seemed unusual until a series of extremely rare minting anomalies began to surface. These weren't just minor imperfections. They were the kind of errors that make collectors stop in their tracks. One of the most talked about variations is the double die obverse error, where the design appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the striking process. To the untrained eye, it might look like a simple blur, but to experts, it's a jackpot. Then there's the off-center strike error, where the coin design is visibly shifted, leaving part of the blank planchet exposed. Coins like these are already valuable, but the real mystery, and the reason for the sky-high price, is tied to a rumored ultra-rare batch of 2014p nickels struck on the wrong metal composition entirely. Imagine a nickel that was accidentally struck on a planchet mint for another denomination or even another type of coin altogether. This kind of minting error is extraordinarily rare, and when it happens, it creates a one-of-a-kind collectible that can fetch unimaginable prices at auction. Collectors chase these coins not just for their rarity, but for the story behind them. The idea that something so small and overlooked could carry such immense value. Over the years, there have been reports of individuals discovering unusual 2014p nickels in their pocket change, coin rolls from banks, or even old jars sitting in their homes. One particularly fascinating story involves a man who purchased a roll of nickels from a local bank, only to notice that one coin felt slightly different in weight. Upon closer inspection and after professional grading, it was revealed to be a rare error variant. That single coin reportedly sparked a bidding war among collectors, pushing its value into the millions. Stories like these fuel the excitement and keep treasure hunters constantly searching. And here's where things get even more intriguing. Some experts believe that not all of these rare variants have been discovered yet. That means there could still be undiscovered 2014 P5-cent coins sitting quietly in circulation, completely unnoticed. Think about that for a moment. The next time you receive change, you might be holding a coin that could change your life forever. This is exactly why collectors meticulously examine every detail. The mint mark, the alignment, the texture, even the slightest irregularity. Because in the world of rare coins, the smallest difference can mean the biggest reward. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can something so common become so valuable? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and the story behind the coin. When a minting mistake occurs, especially one that escapes detection and enters circulation, it creates a limited number of unique pieces. Combine that with the passion of collectors who are willing to pay enormous sums to own something truly one of a kind, and you have the perfect recipe for skyrocketing value. But don't get too comfortable just yet, because this is only the beginning. If you think the 2014 P5-cent coin is unbelievable, wait until you hear about the next coin in this series. I'm not going to reveal its value just yet, but let's just say it has left even seasoned collectors speechless. And trust me, you won't want to miss it, because the next coin might be even closer to you than you think. So make sure you stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and never underestimate the power of the coins in your pocket, because as we've just seen, something as simple as a nickel can hold a secret worth millions. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1999 5-cent to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy people tell each other just for fun. But what if I told you that one specific 1999 P5-cent coin has been rumored to reach a jaw-dropping value of up to $99 million under the right conditions? Yes, a coin so small, so ordinary, that millions of people have handled it without a second thought. Yet hidden among them could be a version so rare, so unique, that collectors would do almost anything to get their hands on it. And today, we are diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the unbelievable secrets behind this 1999 P. Jefferson nickel that might just change the way you look at your spare change forever. Now here's where things start to get truly unbelievable. The highest estimated collector value tied to an ultra-rare variant of the 1999 P5-cent coin has been whispered to climb as high as $99 million, a figure that sounds more like a lottery jackpot than something you could find between couch cushions. And yet stories, rumors, and rare auction whispers suggest that under perfect storm conditions, mint errors, pristine condition, and historical significance, this coin could command a life-changing price. So make sure you stick with me until the very end, because the next coins we'll uncover later in this series carry secrets that are even more shocking, even more mysterious, and you won't want to miss what's coming. Let's rewind back to 1999, a year when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins to keep up with a booming economy and growing demand for everyday currency. And among those coins was the Jefferson nickel, a design that had been around since 1938, featuring the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. But what makes the 1999 P version special isn't its design. It's what went wrong during its creation, because in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are where the real treasure lies. And the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the small P mint mark, was producing nickels at an enormous scale, which increased the chances of tiny, almost invisible errors slipping through quality control, and these errors are exactly what collectors obsess over. Imagine a mint worker overlooking a slightly misaligned die, or a planchet that wasn't properly prepared, or a strike that happened just a fraction of a second too early or too late. These tiny imperfections can transform an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. And in the case of the 1999p nickel, several rumored error types have driven its legendary status, including double die obverse errors where Jefferson's profile appears subtly duplicated, off-center strikes that create a surreal, almost artistic look, and even rare full-step Monticello reverses in near-perfect condition that collectors consider the holy grail of modern nickels. But here's the twist. Most people would never notice these details, because to the untrained eye, it's just another nickel, something you might use to buy a snack or toss into a jar. And that's exactly why these coins are so fascinating. Because the difference between a 5-cent coin and a multi-million-dollar treasure could be a detail so small it fits on the tip of a needle. And that's also why stories keep surfacing of lucky individuals discovering rare coins in the most unexpected places. Old piggy banks, inherited collections, even loose change from a grocery store. One particularly captivating story comes from a collector who reportedly found a 1999p nickel with an unusual strike and near-perfect condition tucked away in a forgotten coin roll. And while the exact details of its sale remain shrouded in mystery, whispers in the numismatic community suggest that offers reached astronomical levels, fueling the legend of this coin even further, and making collectors around the world start checking every nickel they come across, just in case they stumble upon something extraordinary. The fascination doesn't stop there, because the late 1990s marked a transition period in U.S. coinage, with improvements in minting technology that ironically made flawless coins more common. So when a coin from this era shows up with both a rare error and exceptional preservation, it creates a perfect storm of rarity and desirability. And that's exactly what drives values into the stratosphere. Because collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying history, mystery, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else has. And here's something that might surprise you. Even today, countless 1999p nickels are still circulating, passing from hand to hand, completely unnoticed, which means there's always a chance, however small, that one of these ultra-rare variants could still be out there waiting to be discovered. Maybe in your wallet, maybe in a jar at home, or maybe even in the next handful of change you receive. And that possibility is what keeps collectors searching, hoping, and dreaming. But don't get too comfortable, because this is only the beginning of our journey into the world of hidden coin treasures. And trust me, the next coins we're going to explore take this mystery to an entirely different level, with stories that are even more unbelievable and details that will make you question everything you thought you knew about everyday money. So keep watching closely, keep your curiosity alive, and most importantly, don't look at your spare change the same way again, because if you thought this 1999p 5-cent coin was incredible, what's coming next might just leave you speechless.